afternoon, everybody. This is Steve. Welcome to the Little Wood Shop, our Sunday evening blog. And since this is going to take just a little bit, we're going to get right to things. Well, today's tutorial is on how to engrave your very own custom wood shop sign with the use of Vcarve Pro CAD software. Okay, as you see, the sign is up here in my facade, the entryway of my shop. We're going to basically teach you how to build something similar to this. Okay, now within Vcarve Pro, you have a clip art folder that gives you 110 different free pre-installed panels, plaques, shields. Okay, so we're not going to go through each one of them by any means, but they are part of your Vcarve Pro CAD software. What I have done for you is I have basically included in this lesson, we'll give you the link to the Google Drive folder. We've just got you started rolling with a little bit. In here we have the PNG file of this chisel. This is just an example. This is the rendered file where I have gone in, I've node edited it, and I've cleaned it up a little bit for you. With each one of these images, you get the CRV file, an EPS, you get a PDF, JPEG, and PNG. Okay? What is also very nice is we have a bunch of tools that I just finished programming up for you. We're going to show you how to take what you need out of here for the sake of this this tutorial. Okay? Let me pull in. This is one of the plaques right here. This is panel this is panel 44. This is what I made my shop sign on. And for the sake of not copying the exact same project, we're actually going to give you we're going to do a different sign layout, all right? So this is what we chose. This is what I chose to do. I think that this looks very appropriate. It's going to look really sharp once this build is done. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go up to your job dimension and origin. Now, for the sake of this one, I've put it on a piece of 30 by 20. We're going to use 1.5 inch pine. My date and position is always in the center. I've told you that. My unit of measure in the United States is inches. And we're going to be going off the top of the material on the Z-axis. We click OK. Now, ultimately, if you want to know exactly how big the exterior of your sign's going to be, we're going to click on Border. We're going to come down to Transform Objects, and we're going to look at object size. I know that I'm 28 inches wide by 17.776 inches tall. So 28 by 17 3/4 high. This will, in fact, make a very nice, in my opinion, this will make a very, very nice sign for the outside of your shop. All right. Well, we're going to take and we're going to incorporate, I pretty much put a lot of bevels around things. So that's what we're going to do. Our first tool path here is going to be a 90-degree bevel around our outer edge. So I'm going to click on this. I am going to set a profile tool path in place. I'm going to want to take it down to a depth of 225 thousandths. Oh, one too many decimal points in there. Like I said, CAD's the perfect child. It'll do exactly as it's told. I'm going to put this on the outside so that no matter where I mill, I will never lose my overall dimensions. If I come inside, well, I'll lose 1/4 of an inch all the way around, all right? We're going to select a, let me find it here, a V-bit, 90-degree, 1/2 inch. As I've told you in previous videos, always take and adjust your spindle, feed rate, and the information that's punitive to your machine, to your tools, okay? I am going to also run this conventionally, and this is going to be titled Outer Bevel. We're going to mill it. Okay, we can see the tool path is cut, but we are outside our dotted line. Alrighty. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to think about an emblem. I had told you we were going to construct a logo on site. All right, well, that is exactly what we're going to do. I am going to come up to my import, or I could also go File, Open. For the sake of the video, I have already got this laid out in a folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in the tools. Alrighty, so I want to highlight these. I'm going to move these off to the side. My current function right now is selection mode, okay? I keep forgetting that I have a lot of newer guys following me on this stuff, so I don't mean to get ahead of myself, and if I do, I apologize. The only tool I'm going to use for the sake of this is this plane. This is going to be part of our tutorial title. So I'm going to highlight this plane. I am going to click Align Selected Objects, and we're going to center him right smack dab in the middle of the material. He is perfectly aligned in the middle. Now, what I want to do is I want to kind of look at his scale, and I want to make sure that he is, in fact, going to work for this particular application. So, I am going to come over to Transform Objects, and I'm going to look at this object size. He's roughly almost 7.5. We may as well say 7.5 inches wide by 3.7496 or 3 3/4 high. Well, we're going to take him down, and as long as your link X and Y is checked, I've told you before, CAD will automatically compensate the other axis for you so that the ratio is even. We're going to go 6.5 on him. We're going to click Apply. That's not bad. So he's 3 1/4 high, but he's 6.5 wide. He's holding dead center. Well, what I want to do is I really want to use him as my logo. We're going to pretty much call this, we're going to name this, this fictitious business that's going on this, something like Plain Old Wood Shop, or a plain old wood shop, or something along that line, with the wood plane in the middle being the focal point. I know it's kind of corny, but for the sake of it, what I want to do is I want to create an outline to go around him. I merely clicked on my Draw and Ellipse, and we pulled our Ellipse tool in. And now we're going to center him. Now you can do this in one of two ways again. You can drag your center node, put him in the middle of the workpiece, or you can also pull up your Align Selected Objects, hit your alignment for dead center. Okay? Well, I'm looking at this, and I think that he's a little bit, maybe he's a little bit, I'm not sure, too big, too small yet. Well, we're going to look at object size again. We're going to look at a, let's see here. We'll go with 10.25. Maybe we'll go with a 10.5. Just a titch more. And it will make the height 5.5 inches roughly. Okay, I like that. We see this now. Well, what we're going to do here is we're going to duplicate this. We're going to double click on it. We're going to right click. We're going to copy. We're going to right click. We're going to click paste. What I'm going to do with that second one that we just created, I'm going to pull him out a little. I'm going to stop. I'm going to hit the alignment tool. I'm going to recenter him. I'm going to come down, and I am going to check out in Transform Objects the object size. Now, I would like at least 1/4 inch around this center focal piece, okay? So, we knew that he was 10.5. Well, we're going to take him up to 11.5. We're going to click Apply. Now, we've already compensated in CAD, but I can still see that the width here is a little bit off. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide one side in. You can eyeball this, okay? This is just for practice anyways. We're going to come back up to our alignment, and we're going to recenter him. All right. This is basically going to be our logo for this particular sign fictitious company. Okay, now if there's nothing over here that you need, you can highlight all of it in your selection mode. Click on selection mode, hold down your left key, highlight all of it, hit the delete key on your keyboard to basically scale him in or out, enlarge him or shrink him. You use the wheel on your mouse. Now, I can see that this still looks a little wider here than up here. I am still going to push him in just a little bit. I'm going to come back to transform objects again, align material in the center. Alrighty. So I'm happy with that. That looks pretty sharp. Now, we told you that this particular plaque, we wanted to utilize this in the emblem, but we also, like my own, that will be in the corner of this YouTube video, I want to put this gentleman's initials in here. So let's say that this is James Smith. This is John Smith's twin brother, okay? We're going to go to our font now, and we're going to go to our draw text. Determine what you want to use for text. I'm going to kind of fly blind with this, which I normally don't like to do, but we'll look at a French script, and we're gonna bold out the letters. For the point of this example, it really doesn't matter where we have it because we're gonna move it. But we're gonna put in J and S. Let's apply it, see what it looks like. I like a lot of the Old English. I like the calligraphy. I like script. I think that's a little too off the top, though. So let's try a different font. I'm also a very big fan of. I do like Lucida. So maybe we'll run with that. And these are just my personal preferences, but as you can see, there is a heap load of text and font here to choose from. So, you know, plan carefully and choose what it is you want. Lucida calligraphy. Okay, let's apply that. That to me doesn't look too bad. Now, the text height is 3 inches. We're going to need to readjust the text height so it'll actually fit. We're going to put the text right about in here. Your text height we just adjusted to 2 inches. That looks like it will fit. Drag him in. Well, the name that we're going to use here, let's go back into our text. Oh, gotta click twice, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put my text height at 2.5 for this particular situation, okay? We're going to call this James Plain Old, okay? We're going to start with that. Now, like I told you, it's going to be a little corny, but James Smith, this is going to be his logo that eventually is going to end up on his business card and everything else, okay? We're going to click Apply. Now, I want to take this name and I want to move it up into place here. However, we're going to put an arch to it. Alrighty. The way we do that is we come into Create Vectors, Edit Spacing, Edit Text Spacing and Curve. We're going to click on that. We see 2 green boxes with our center node. Well, if we pull the bottom one, it's going to obviously pull it in the wrong direction. So we're going to take the top one, we're going to pull him, we're going to grab our center node, and we're going to bring him back down. Now, here's the problem that I have right off the top. We'll go into our alignment tools and we will center. Okay. Now this is my problem. The J is underneath the center x-axis line, but old up here is, yeah, it's above. It just, I don't like it. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna fiddle back and forth with this for a moment, okay? I'm gonna pull him up a little bit more. I'm gonna pull him back down. Now I like the font, I like everything about the size. Now, the J is still below our x-axis center line. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in, and here's a little trick. You can take your, without clicking on the text, we're going to start with the J. See the little addition sign? Right click. I'm sorry, left click. And you see our font moving in. Well, we've got 2 there. We can do the same thing between the P and the L. Give it 2 clicks. We're going to come down to the O and the L. Left clicker on your mouse. 2 clicks. Now, we're going to go back and forth here so we can keep it even. I'll go 2 clicks here, 2 clicks here with the left clicker on our mouse. 2 more, 2 more. We'll go 3. We'll go 3. Now, let's give this just a titch more of a wrap here. We can still see though that we are in fact, our J is still below. So we'll go 5 here, 5 here. Now, even though our center node says that we are dead center on our Y, we're going to kind of offset this a little bit. I can still cheat it. I'll go 2. It's getting us there little by little. I can move him up. But ultimately, I don't want this massive space between here and the top of the D is almost hitting the side. So you've got to work this, alrighty? You've got to keep playing with this. So we're going to keep left clicking. 3 here, 3 here. Little by little, we're going to work him like that. Now, we may get stuck with just a little bit of the letter J sticking below, but that's not bad, okay? We can always cheat him up just a snitch if we need. No big deal. Let's come in, let's see what he looks like centered. Oh my goodness, I keep clicking off him. Alright, so we center on our Y-axis. Highlight him again. Come over. Edit your space and curve, drag him down. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. The one thing we could do if we wanted is we can keep cheating him like that. This is the nice thing about this software, and I don't mean for this to take so long, but I really want to give everybody a good example. I want to keep the font from this half of our sign, I want to keep it above our horizontal x-axis line. I don't want stuff rolling down below. Okay, we're going to get into text. Again, we're going to type in woodworking. I'm going to go bold. We're going to keep the same font height as well, and we're going to click apply. Close. Highlight him. Drag him down. We're going to do the same thing. Now, if we were a little bit shorter here, and we didn't have anything hanging off the outside of the frame, well, that would be one thing, but we do. So we are, in fact, going to put a curve. Excuse me, we're going to put a curve on him. Same thing, instead of pulling him up, we're going to pull this one down. Pull him in, center him. He's still not quite where I want him. Now, we can see that we have a lot of space between our letters. Again, come in and keep track of how many clicks you use. Okay, I did 3 there. I'm going to do 3 here. I'm going to do 3 here. Same thing up here. 2, 2, 2. You get the idea. I can actually probably go another one. Eyeball your space. Okay. Now, I can see that the end of the N is running in with the G. I'm just going to click my undo. Okay. Now, all in all, this doesn't look too bad, except for the fact the letter G is out of our loop. Now, I'm going to pull him up just a little bit higher to get him out of that particular situation. And there we have it. Now, granted, the font might be a little bit big. You may want to go in and custom tailor this to what you want to do. You may want to take the word woodworking down to 2 inches. Like I said, this is entirely up to you. Click apply. We're gonna get him on our y-axis line. Best and easiest way is to align your tool. You're gonna center him. Don't mind me if there's a void in me talking, okay? The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come over to, we're gonna edit him one last time. Now he gets stretched out pretty good here. Again, we can go back and we can close them up with the left click on our mouse. We're going to go 3. Or how many ever you think it takes to make it look according. Some of them require more than others. Alrighty. So, that is not too bad. We're going to center this whole thing now. Let's go up to our Align Selected Objects. Oh, goodness, it keeps coming out. Alright. So, we ended up downsizing our lower font. James Plain Old Woodworking. We've got James Smith, the plain. This will be our logo. Now, depending on what size or what style plate you go with, you may want to put your catchphrase in. Now, my catchphrase on my business cards, my letterhead, is an engraver in the woods. I actually sign off on my blogs like that. You really probably wouldn't have a place to put it in here, but maybe you go with a different panel or a different sign design. Maybe you go with a square or a rectangle. But for the sake of the example, this will certainly serve its purpose. Now, we've already done the outer profile. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to Vcarve with a V-bit. I like to use a 60 degree. We're going to go in, we'll go in 40 thousandths. We're going to click on this font. We're going to hold down the Shift key and we're going to highlight the woodworking on the bottom. We'll call this lettering. Then we're going to click Calculate. Alright, that toolpath is run, unhighlighted. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to do the center. Now, you have 1 or 2 choices here, and for the sake of this, we're going to keep this a, oh goodness, we're going to keep this a 2-dimensional, yeah. We're going to hold our flat depth. We're going to call this ring, center ring. What we're going to do is we're going to just mill that loop around our logo. Calculate, okay, that's done. We'll go back into the Vcarve. Engraving toolpath. We're going to call this emblem or logo. That's going to basically be the plane and the JS. We're going to click on that. Let's close that one out. Now, last thing we have to do is to cut out, but before we get to that, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this up and we're going to take a quick peek at it. I want to make sure my toolpath color is black for the sake of the example. James Plain Old Woodworking, okay? I admit it is corny, okay? Now the last thing we're going to do is we have to cut this out, obviously, so let's get to it. We told you we used a piece of, in our set job dimension, we used a piece of 1.5. You're going to need to plane this down flat, whether it's in a planer or your own machine. Nonetheless, it has to be planed down to have a perfectly flat work surface. I've showed you in multiple videos. I would personally screw my 4 corners. I'd use my spoiler board bit. I'd plane it down. I'd flip it over. Make sure that the best of the 2 sides, to save you from having to flip it a 3rd time, put your worst side up, mill it flat, flip it over, and then spoiler board that pocketing function like you would your spoiler board itself over the good surface That way there you don't have to unscrew it and flip it back again, okay? So we're going to now cut him out, and we're going to call him 1.5, and we're going to go 10 thousandths below. What you'd want to do, though, is measure him. And I've shown you in many videos, take a set of verniers. You can even eyeball your tape measure, because you're going to end up taking how many ever thousandths off, planing it flat, okay? We need to go to the outside. If you go inside or on, you're going to cut that beautiful bevel off that you just worked so hard to get in there. Now, we have to change our bit out, and we need to change it out to a 1/4 inch end mill. Again, set your feeds and speeds to what's best for your particular machine, router or spindle. We need to add tabs. We're now going to edit them, and we're going to say probably 10 will suffice. We can show you how to put more in here in just a second. We're going to add all these tabs. Now, my advice here: move these out to the flat. If you've got to cut anything out of a corner or a radius, it's a pain in the butt. Move them right out on the flat. Saves you a little bit of headache later. You obviously want one on each corner here. Just move them out. Left clicker on your mouse. Now I want one exactly at the top. One quick left click. Same thing on the bottom here. Quick left click. We're going to close this out. Now, this is important because we put in a 200 thousandths deep 90-degree V-bit bevel around this on the outside. You want to do an offset. You're going to want to take and offset the tool, the end mill that's going to cut this out. You do want to offset it, because if you don't, you're going to cut into that beautiful bevel or cut it completely out, okay? So we went 200 thousandths deep. We're going to offset it 200 thousandths. All right, now we're going to call this profile toolpath cutout, calculate. Yes, we know it's going to exceed. All righty, so let's close him up. Let's uncheck the box. We don't want to add any color to it because I want to see what it looks like cut out. Let's preview them all again. Alrighty, this black still indicates. Let me spin him up. Oh, too far. Okay, we can see right here. This black is your 45 degree, and that's why we offset it. Okay. Now the last thing I want to do before I initiate the cut on this is I want to go back in and I want to double check my tool pass, my cutting depths. Okay, so I went 225 thousandths deep. I've already caught a mistake. Let's close him out. Let's go to our cutout. Let's readjust our offset and add another 25 thousandths. Calculate. Great. Now we can close him. Let's go in and look at our lettering. We are in fact using a 60-degree V-bit. We are 0.04 and not 0.4. Trust me, this machine pays attention and follows your every order, okay? We want to make sure we're 40 thousandths and not 400. We can close him. Let's check our center ring. Same thing again. We're 40 thousandths, 60-degree V-bit. Nothing looks out of the ordinary. We're going to look at our logo. Logo is 40 thousandths, 60-degree V-bit. We look good there. We're going to come back. We're going to reset the preview, and we will run it one last time. There we go. James, plain old woodworking. I admit it's corny, but that's basically the simplicity of doing a two-dimensional sign. Like I said, this is only an example. You guys, if you follow this step by step, I hope I didn't talk too fast. If you ever have any questions, you know all you have to do is shoot me an email, steve@littlewoodshop.com. I'll get back to you. I'll even sit and work with you on this if you want, okay? So, as always, my followers, my subscribers, thank you so much.